So maybe you can tell a little bit more, okay, about Rumah K.I.D.S, okay, the nature and what is it that Rumah K.I.D.S is providing for the community, right?
Sure. All right, thank you for this opportunity to be interviewed. As you know, I'm the chairman of Persatuan Rumah K.I.D.S. I came on board as a new chairman last year from August of 2020. So Persatuan Rumah K.I.D.S was founded in 1991, so we are almost 30 years old. And the founder is Dr. Henry K. Pillai, and he was the founder chairman for close to 30 years, and he retired last year, and I was invited to come in as a new honorary chairman. We are all volunteers on the board of Persatuan Rumah K.I.D.S. We have 7 board members. We are not paid. We are all volunteers, and so we just volunteer our time to help the children. And so how Rumah K.I.D.S started in Klang, originally with 2 homes in Klang. And along the way, we merged with 2 other homes in USJ. So now we are one entity, but in 2 locations. So we have Klang, and we have a USJ branch or Subang. Yeah. Besides the 7 board members who are volunteers, we have 12 staff. They are full-time staff. And these full-time staff are spread over the 4 houses. And then we have admin staff to run the administration. Then we have a counselor to counsel the children. And then in the 4 homes, we have what we call residential staff. They live in the home because this is a 24/7. So our concept is more like a live-in, like parents, right? So they live in the home, they take care of the children 24/7. And of course, they have off days, then we have relief staff. So that's why there are 12 staff and they are employed. Yeah. And we are licensed by Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat Malaysia. So JKM licenses our homes. So we are fully licensed, and so we have third-party outside external auditors to audit our accounts every year. And then we also have kelulusan from Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri, where all donations to Persatuan Rumah K.I.D.S is tax exempted.
So how do basically Rumah K.I.D.S collect funds? So where do you get money, Rumah K.I.D.S properly?
Okay, so to start off with government support, we used to get about 10 to 15,000 ringgit a year. This was in the previous years, but that is very, very short of our target, right? Currently, I don't mind sharing with you, we need about 50,000 ringgit a month to sustain the staff salaries, the vehicles. We have vans, we have to repair the van, and we have to send the children for medical checkup, medicine, and then we engage tuition teachers to teach the children. And then rental for Klang homes, and also the utilities, electricity bill, water, and all that. So that comes to average, of course, plus minus, some months a bit more, some months a bit less. But averagely 50,000 a month. So this year we are very fortunate that JKM have given us a special favor. They gave us a grant of 54,000 because of COVID relief. This is the bantuan makanan and all that. So we are very thankful to the government for that. But it doesn't support our whole year punya requirement. So I would say 90% of our funds come from public donation.
I want to start talking about just now you mentioned about raising funds for Rumah K.I.D.S and so on. So I've also heard a lot of news out there where the managers of NGO, the owners of NGO misuse the money collected for their NGO. So how do you ensure that Rumah K.I.D.S practice the best accountability practice in your NGO? Okay.
I'm glad you asked the question, because the general perception is charity, there's a lot of misuse and so on. So we are very aware of that. We are very cautious. So, for example, in my committee, we have a treasurer, right? So treasurer and secretary usually will sign the checks. I don't get involved in, so far I've not signed any checks, so we do a check and balance in the sense that we have designated people. So treasurer is responsible for the accounts. And the other thing is that when I came on board last year, when I was invited to come as chairman, so it's very important for me to make sure to satisfy myself that things are all in order. So I have personally checked the accounts and checked the expenses, and everything is in order. The money is being used to pay the staff, the money is being used for the care of the children, right? Operations, that everything about the children. So I have not seen any case of misuse of money going somewhere else for, and the staff, we make sure that the staff are accountable also, in the sense that when a walk-in donor comes to the home, if they give cash, they are given a receipt on the spot, right? So they're given an official receipt, and the money is banked into the central account, right? That is for cash donation. And we always encourage donors to transfer the money into the Persatuan bank account. So we never take money on a personal basis.
We have come to the interesting part. Can you tell us a little bit about, I know you just became the chairman, but can you share with us some success stories of this particular NGO?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because recently we just published one story on LinkedIn. And this is the story of a girl, her name is Hebe. Hebe is a Chinese girl, Chinese ethnic, and at the age of 10, her mom died of cancer, right? And her father was very sick and old, couldn't take care of her. So he sent her to Rumah K.I.D.S in Klang. So she grew up in Rumah K.I.D.S. For 10 years, she grew up with us. And so she left when she was 20. Rumah K.I.D.S sponsored her for a beauty course. She became a beautician, and then she went for further training. And then now she is a customer service specialist at Shaklee, Malaysia, which is a MLM selling nutritional vitamins and so on. So she is happily settled in life, and she's very happy with her childhood spent at Rumah K.I.D.S, and that she had very good guidance. She still remembers good memories of Rumah K.I.D.S, and that she is who she is because of what Rumah K.I.D.S did for her. We have another young man who is now a very famous football coach in Malaysia. His name is Augustine. I hope to publish his stories soon. We have another lady who is in Singapore, in the Singapore Girls' Home in Singapore, and she is an officer there. And she grew up in our home, but now she's an officer. We have received another one from a nurse in a hospital, also grew up with us. Now she's a nurse. Then we have another young man, his name is Matthew Shu, one of our most successful products. And Matthew Shu is got a bachelor's in IT. He's working in an IT company, and he's also doing very well. Very grateful for having grown up in Rumah K.I.D.S. I have another young man who is 21. His name is Ang. Ang grew up with us from a very young age, and we sent him for automobile technician training. Now he is earning a good living. He's repairing sports cars like Mercedes and special luxury cars. He's able to do all as a mechanic.
So basically, the challenges with bringing up the kids, there's no challenge, not much challenge.
I would say we have challenges, because the challenges are mainly coming from the background of the child, right? Like for example, the child, we have children who are really orphans, yatim piatu. They don't have mom and dad, and so they feel a sense of loss, brokenness, a sense of rejection, like, how come, I don't have parents who are my mom and dad. So those cases are very hard to deal with. So they have emotional issues. psychological issues, and sometimes they will exhibit behavior that is hard to explain, where they get angry for no reason. They can't even explain themselves why they get angry. When the other children tease them, as you know, when you have say 10 children growing up in one house, or 20 children, they tend to tease each other. Sometimes they bully each other, and this is even in a normal family this happens, right? And sometimes we have a very sad case where the mom was maybe a drug addict, you know, so we have some. So the child is born with challenges, you know, where they become hyperactive. They can't focus on anything. They're always running around because of the effect of the drug on the brain. So these are children that we face extra challenges. So a few of our children, we send them for assessments with a psychiatrist, psychologist, to help them to overcome trauma, you know. Yeah.
Okay. What about the challenge in terms of collecting funds from donors? Is there any issue? Is there any, you know, dilemma that you face from collecting funds?
Yeah, like I said, last year was a challenge because of the COVID situation. People couldn't come to the home. So we had a shortfall of about 100,000 ringgit. But I wouldn't say it is difficult, but when we present, we are able to tell our story. People, you know, are convinced that we are doing a good job, and they give. So when people come to the home, especially, they are very convinced because the homes are kept very clean. The children are, you know, very well disciplined. They are all very loving children. They are very talented. You know, sometimes they will do a song or dance, or, you know, for our visitors. So they can see that the children are well brought up, well disciplined, and that you know, it's not an easy you know, task to bring up these children.
Your Rumah K.I.D.S is very fortunate because even looking at you yourself as one of the volunteers, I think you have a very great passion for the kids and for the you know, for running the Rumah K.I.D.S. So yeah, very good job. Thank you so much for helping those children as well. Okay, so I think the interview is very comprehensive. I think I've known a lot about Rumah K.I.D.S now. So now, do you have any you know, few words for people out there that, you know, from your experience, I think you can share a little bit on what is it that we need to have this kind of strength to run an NGO, raising kids especially?
Okay, it's it has to be from your heart, has to be your passion. So personally for me, because I grew up from the slum, you know, rumah setengah. So I had nothing when I was young. But I've been very blessed by God that, you know, I became an engineer, then I lived in America, and 5 years I was living in Australia. So we have been very blessed. So I had, even though I came from nothing, because we have some basic education, and Malaysia is such a wonderful country, we have a lot of opportunities. So I became a CEO of a large company, and so I had a lot of opportunities in my life. So all along I had the passion to help the less fortunate, because when I was growing up, most of the time the shirt I wear is from somebody else, donated, you know, because my mom had no money to buy clothes, you know. So friends will donate their shirts, you know, shoes. That was how I grew up. So I know what it is to be poor, right? And so from the time I started working, I always get involved in charity work. Even though I'm an engineer or a CEO, but I will always have some time to contribute to community. So I used to do help with fundraising for an organization called Grace Community. So Grace Community, they supported the poor. Every month, the poor people who sign up with us, they'll get a hamper of basic things like rice, oil, coffee, Milo. So we will give them a hamper every month. So I was, responsible for fundraising, and I was on the board as a volunteer director.
All right. Oh my God, you've done a great job. You are truly inspiring.
We do what we can. Yeah, it's all by God's grace.
Yeah, they are very lucky to have you. Good job. Okay. So I think that would be all for the interview. Thank you so much. You have shared a lot about Rumah K.I.D.S, and I hope I will be able to help Rumah K.I.D.S as well. I hope this interview will also do something for Rumah K.I.D.S. Okay. And thank you so much for participating in my interview, in my project, and I hope we can keep in touch after this. It will not stop here, hopefully. All right, thank you so much again, Mr. Panir.
All right, Panir Rajamany, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. I really appreciate it. And may God bless your work.
You too. Thank you so much, Mr. Panir.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
around.